Welcome to the Joy Inspired podcast. I'm Nikki Cruise, and I'm thrilled to explore with you what it means to walk in a faith-infused business. This is your space to find powerful tools and insights, to build with resilience, and to create impact through your unique purpose, discovering a joy that only God can provide. Together, let's embrace a business journey anchored in faith and empowered by joy. Let's jump in. Well, hello, folks. It's so good to be back. And we're here for another episode of the Joy Inspired podcast, where we walk and talk about joy. Everything leads back to joy. And it really does look joyful to build a business when you approach it in the right way, and a life. And when you've got it rooted in faith and you lead it with purpose, it is fueled by joy. That's where the power comes in. And today's conversation, wow, I am so excited to have Johnny Els here. If you haven't been with us before, my name is Nikki Cruise, commonly known as the Joy Junkie, your greatest cheerleader. And I love to invite you into this space to share the things that are going to bring you joy. And today's topic, when you first hear about it, often we think, that doesn't bring me joy. You know what? It does. It does. Because remember, joy isn't the fluff. It's not the glitter. It's not what you feel in the moment. Joy is the lasting effect. So, Johnny Els is the founder of TruFit Academy. And today we're going to be talking about health as a kingdom strategy. And you guys know I'm all about strategy. I'm all about joy as a strategy. But Johnny works with executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and veterans, high capacity leaders who want more than just success. They want clarity, longevity, and alignment. Johnny's background includes collegiate swimming, triathlon coaching. Oh, wow, you've got it going there, Johnny. And completing Ironman races. But what really, really shaped his journey wasn't just physical endurance. It was that spiritual awakening that came when he realized he couldn't serve both money and God. That's a lesson some of us still get to press into. We think we've learned it. So this conversation is about faith, fitness, mindset, rejection, discipline, and what it means to steward your body and leadership calling well, so that you can build not just faster, but wiser. Johnny, I am so grateful that you're with us today. Welcome to the Joy Inspired podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. That was incredible. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited about this.
Before we dive into the work you do today, I'd love our listeners to actually meet you, not just your resume. Who is Johnny beyond the titles, and what's the heart behind TruFit Academy?
Yeah, so I've been an athlete my entire life, and fitness and competition has always been really motivating to me. I just feel really good when I'm competing with my friends and pushing myself and being rewarded for it and things like that. And so it just kind of created this path for me when I was growing up. And I got involved with triathlons because I was a collegiate swimmer at one point. So I was coaching different professional triathletes at one point, and the reason I got into all of this kind of stuff was because when I was younger, and even though I was in sports and I was with my friends and we were outside playing and all this kind of stuff, I never fully felt confident in who I was, how I looked, how I presented myself, and it really affected my mentality. It affected my relationships with girls. And I never really just put myself out there as a confident person. I was always really shy and I didn't know if I was good enough for other people or good enough to, go to college or anything like that. So I always had a lot of insecurities about who I was, where I was going. Another thing is I was born in South Africa. So when my parents and I moved to Texas, um, again, we didn't really know what life was like. And so I got into sports and we were kind of just learning as we were going. And it just, I think between my faith and my physical and mental and spiritual fitness, I was able to create this life for myself that I am totally in love with. And I want to be able to share that with the world because although I know exercising and eating healthier and things like that can be a struggle, I definitely think it's worth it if you're trying to get to that other side of being healthy, being happy, and spreading that joy and spreading that love with the people that you love.
Absolutely. And yet you've been in so many high capacity and
Yeah.
high energy, high performance environments for a long time. And at
Mm.
some point, what point was it that fitness stopped being just physical to you and started becoming spiritual as well?
So I graduated from Texas A&M, and I was also the triathlon coach at A&M. And then I graduated with my kinesiology degree. And at first, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, we had moved up here to Colorado, and I started training people because that's just what I love to do. But I was still in that extremely competitive mindset where everything had to be intense and dialed in and focused, and it was 7 days a week, and which I do love. But as I got older, I'm 31 now. As I entered my late 20s, I started to realize that a lot of the people that I'm working with are not on that, incredibly high level, right? They are just wanting to stay healthy and be in shape because that's what they genuinely love to do. And there's a big difference between being a Division One athlete and being an athlete who is in their 20s and 30s and 40s, right?
Yes.
People who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s want longevity. They want consistency. They want to be able to live a lifestyle where they can go out for drinks and still feel confident in their body. So it was a huge mindset shift for me going from working with really intense athletes to working with higher performing individuals who just want to live a longer, happier life. So that mindset shift for me required me to look inward and reconnect with my own faith and figure out why was I placed on this earth. Yeah, I think I was placed on this earth to help people for sure, but who am I trying to help and what am I trying to help them with? And so that's kind of why I started TruFit Academy was because I want people to understand how they can truly live a healthy, fit life without committing to a restrictive diet or an intense program or anything like that, but just create a healthy lifestyle that they're going to enjoy and what's, actually going to keep them healthy long term.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about the message you bring is most people like me, when they hear the word healthy, they think, oh no, now here it goes. Here's the restrictions. Here's the, you know, dictatorship of the health world. Um,
Right.
and you do it very differently.
Mm,
So you work with leaders who carry a lot of responsibility, and the last thing they want is to be told exactly what to do. And at the same time, you believe that health isn't optional, but essential to
mm,
create the leadership impact, the kingdom impact that we want.
right.
From your experience, what's one habit or mindset shift that creates the biggest ripple effect across a leader's life, physically, mentally, and spiritually?
Well, I think people enjoy working with other people who are happier, right? They give off a really motivating vibe. Like they want to work with people who make them feel good, right? And if you're working for somebody or if you're working with people who bring you down or shoot you down or always in a negative mood or are always mad or whatever, it's hard to work with them. And you don't even want to work with them or hire people or even, and so I think if you're focusing on yourself in a way that's like, how can I serve myself so that I can serve others on a higher level? That's when you start to realize this health and fitness journey is not just about me, right? It's also about how I present myself to other people and that kind of ripple effect that I have on other people. Because when people see me, they're like, Johnny's always smiling and he's always so energized and he's always just so happy and like I want to be like that, right? People want to work with me if I kind of give off that energy. And so I think especially for people who are in higher levels like CEOs or executives or even a lot of veterans who are looking for jobs, people are going to want to work with you if they can tell you're responsible enough to take care of yourself. Because if you are,
Yes.
then I can at least trust you to take care of your career or your family, or anything else going on in your life.
Wow. And you hit the nail on the head there. I always say joy is magnetic. Well, it is.
Mhm.
But how can you really be joyful if you're sick, if you're tired, if you're just overwhelmed with things because you are not planning and taking care of things? And
Right.
folks, you're talking to somebody who's had many health challenges. Because you have health challenges does not mean you cannot live healthy. You can
Sure.
choose a healthy lifestyle with that, but you cannot carry that joy if you aren't stewarding your body well. And this is something that Johnny really shares with that. Now, when you chose to look at spiritual stuff and began to align your business with faith, that was quite a change. And
It really
it
was.
changed how
Yeah.
you define success, not just
hmm
in business, but in life. Tell us about that and how it impacted your business.
That's a really good question. Colorado's very expensive. So when I moved up here, my main focus was just making enough money so that I can afford rent and food and just to survive, right? So my main focus was just making money. And so I feel like my message in TruFit and my message with other people was driven by I need money now. So please give me money. And that can come off as desperate and people can see that. But when I started reconnecting with God and aligning with my purpose in life, my message with TruFit totally changed with my sales, with my marketing. And I'm like, hey, this is what I do. Take it or leave it. But I think these are the benefits that you could see. And if you don't want that, that's okay. But I'm not going to force you into doing something that you don't want to do. But these are the benefits that can happen. This is what's happened with other clients in the past. And if that's something that resonates with you and you feel like that's going to align with what you're trying to do in your life, then I think this could be a good fit. And we can try it out. And if it starts working, then we can continue. And if it doesn't, full refund, whatever. But I want to make sure I'm giving everybody an opportunity to do something, to try something else that's different and that might actually end up working.
I love that. And what I love about what you do is you actually align everything with
Mhm,
faith
mhm.
because health is a kingdom responsibility, and that is something you teach and you emphasize. So, for the person listening now who says, I'll focus on my health later, what do you believe they're actually sacrificing right now?
Mhm. Um, yeah, I think they're sacrificing one-on-one time with their kids. I think they're sacrificing the future of their business. I think, if I think life is about connections and spending time with your loved ones. And if you're not taking care of yourself, then that time can be limited. And especially for the people who are in their 50s who are starting to realize I'm getting older and I am not feeling that great in my body anymore, you start
Yeah.
to realize I don't have much time left. I only have like 20 years, maybe, which is not a lot of time. And so I feel like a lot of people who are focusing so much on building a big, successful business, um, and making a lot of money so they can serve their family, a lot of times their family just needs them to be more present because
Yes.
that's what's going to bring them joy. Money comes and goes, right? And how can you expect to continue to serve your own family or your own business or your own money goals if you're not taking care of the vessel that's in charge of it all? Right. And on another podcast, it's actually kind of funny. I'd like to share this with you as well. If you people think about, if you can think about your body as the one vessel that the Lord has given you, think about a boat or a car or whatever, and you're trying to go from point A to point B, whatever that may be, being a successful business owner or a successful mom or whatever. It's hard to get to that other side if your vessel is broken. It's going to be so much more challenging. So I recommend, if your goal is to go from point A to point B and take care of your family or build an amazing business, take care of the vessel that is in full control of how that's going to be successful. Because if you don't, it might not be as successful as you want it to be.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you know what? The image that comes to mind for me is God is the potter, we are the clay.
Mm,
But once He's created that vessel, that pot, if we leave it to crack and dry out, it will be of no use to anybody. We get to, just as in the olden days, they used to put herbs and they used to put different liquids into the vessel to add to the vessel. That's
right.
exactly what we get to do. Sorry, that picture just came to mind. And if you know me, you know I'm a picture person. So we've got all this joy. We've got the health that's going to keep the joy flowing and going. And you've shared some really powerful stuff, but I know that you talk about rejection in a
Mm.
very different way. You say that you learned to become friends with rejection. That's not easy. How did rejection shape you and shape you as a coach, entrepreneur, and a man of faith? And tell us about that.
That's a really good question. When I was younger, I always took things, I mean, maybe I still do, take things personally when people are rude or snippy or people don't want to work with me. I take it personally as if I'm not good enough. And that's something that I've struggled with ever since I was a kid. Um, but I think through the church and through reconnecting with my purpose, I've come to realize that this isn't for everybody. And I need to be okay with that. Even though I want everyone in the world to be on some sort of healthy lifestyle plan, whether it's with me or with anyone else, that's great. I just want everyone to be healthier, happier, live longer, and have better connections with their spouse and with their kids. That's my goal for the world. And the whole rejection thing, I had to just become part of knowing that this isn't for everybody, right? And that's one thing that I need to get used to, just being a salesman in general, is this isn't going to be for everybody. And sometimes it's going to be too expensive, or sometimes people think that it's not expensive enough, like it's not valuable enough for them. And so it's finding a really healthy balance between who I'm talking to and what they need to be successful. That way, whenever we craft this plan for you, it actually makes sense for you. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. But I need to keep reminding myself, when people are not fully committed to a health plan, it's not that they're saying, Johnny, you suck and I don't want to work with you, right? Which is what runs through my head a lot, because I'm like, well, what can I do? What can I say? How can I improve my program? What do I need to do to make you sign on with me? Not because I need money, but because I care about you and I want you to lose weight and feel healthier and have more energy and excel in your own career and things like that, because I genuinely care about people. I've been in the people game for a really, really long time, and I don't think I'll ever not be in the people game. But I think that's just part of the journey. And I need to just accept that and be part of that.
I love that. And they say often rejection is God's protection. When somebody else rejects you, it's often because it's not a good match.
Right.
And we will never be everybody's cup of tea. You might be somebody's flavor of scotch, but not everybody's going to be everybody's cup of tea. There isn't enough of you to go around to the however many billion people on the planet.
Right.
So look at serving those people you can as best possible.
Yeah.
And one of the ways we serve people best possible is by being at our own peak. And so often we find that we think of health and we think of, okay, now I'm going to spend an hour in the gym and have to count my calories and cut up my food and all the rest. And that just takes too much time. And you feel like you're going to hit burnout. How do you help those high achieving and high activity dedicated clients of yours build discipline without slipping into burnout or performance-based identity?
Love this question. Okay. I think a lot of people get into the mindset of I need to now get healthy, right? So I need to go on a diet plan and I need to go do this and that, and it's restrictive and it's for a certain amount of time, right? It's like for the next 90 days, I'm going to commit to doing this, right? And people will sign up for 90-day challenges. Well, they'll lose 30 pounds and they have to eat all this healthy stuff, which is great because it works. But then the thing is, once the 90-day challenge is over, or once the diet plan is over, now what? And this is why a lot of people will fall off track and gain the weight back because they didn't develop a healthy lifestyle that they can actually continue to commit to for 20 plus years. And that's kind of the whole philosophy around TruFit is we want to create a lifestyle built with healthy habits that you are actually able to commit to every single day. That does not take up hours and hours of your time because no one's got time for that. But if you can just be more mindful about how you attack your morning routine, how much water you're drinking, how many grams of protein you're eating, like just those 2 to 3 things right there will take you so much further in your health journey than trying to go to the gym every single day. Because you're right, it gets tiring, people burn out, and they're sore and they're overwhelmed, and now it's just adding to the already stressful life that they have. And then it's like, well, I don't even know if it's worth it because it's too much, right? Versus taking a step back, focusing on 1 to 2 things you can do every single day for the next 30 days, let's say, you kind of create this healthy lifestyle habit around your morning or around your afternoon or whatever it may be. And it's just way easier to keep up with. And if it's easy to keep up with, then you're going to enjoy it because it's working without the stress, right? And
Yeah.
so a lot of my clients are like, "Oh, I've done programs before. I've done Jenny Craig. I've done Beachbody. I've done all these things before." I'm like, "Well, that's great, but they didn't teach you how to continue this healthy lifestyle once you were done." And that's what we do at TruFit. Like the first 30 days, we might work out, but it's more about building a healthy habit lifestyle that you know you can keep up with for the next 20 years. And that's why all my clients are able to eventually reach their weight loss goals, but they also know how to maintain it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. No, I love that because you talk so much about longevity.
Hmm.
And, if you're going to do the instant thing, it doesn't really fit into longevity, does it? You,
Yeah.
with the whole concept of longevity, when you shifted your focus from profit to purpose, and the profit kind of isn't your focus, how do you have the longevity? What did you have to trust God with the most when you pivoted?
I just trust God that my wife and I are not going to go homeless, right? We will make it. We've got each other's backs. We both have good jobs. And so I don't think if I am always thinking about money, it's never going to come because now I'm always asking for it or stressed out about it. But if I just let that go and give it to the Lord and He will take care of us, that way I can focus on why I'm here, which is helping people live their best life. And
Yeah.
I know that if I can focus on that, God will take care of us because I think we're all put on this planet to help other people because that's why we're all here. And I think the most successful people in the world have the best relationships with other people. And so, yeah, I just know that we're going to be okay. I have full faith that everything will be okay, even if we have to dip into savings or if we have to move or, whatever. I know we're not going to go homeless. I know we're not going to have to move back in with our parents. We will be okay. And as I have full faith in that. So
I love that.
I can actually focus on my passion, which is TruFit.
I love that. And it's a bit like if you keep focusing on the fact that you have to lose weight, all you think about is food. You know, if you keep
Right.
focusing on money and its scarcity, you are going to see its scarcity. We don't serve a God of lack. And you've seen so much in your business, but one of the things I love is how you don't just teach people to cut carbs, how to eat, how to exercise. You talk a lot about mindset,
Hmm.
approach.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's so important?
I think mindset is step number one if you're going to start committing to a healthier version of yourself, because it's not about the short term results, it's about the long term results. And if you want to start thinking long term, we cannot be stressed out about losing 5 pounds in the next month.
Yeah.
We got to start thinking about how how can I start serving my body to where I'm just going to feel better. And then if we start thinking about that, the weight loss is inevitable. Like it will happen, right? But like I said before, if I'm not working with Division 1 athletes or professional athletes, I'm working with 30, 40, 50-year olds who want longevity. We got to start thinking, okay, well, where do you want to be in 10 years from now? Do you want to be in the same place or worse, or do you want to be in a better place? And so we need to build a foundation that's a strong, solid foundation that will never break, and then we can build on top of that. But it takes time. But I would rather take 10 years to figure it out that is embedded in my life than doing random stuff for 90 days and hopefully it works, hopefully it doesn't. It most likely will, but then knowing how to continue that.
Yeah.
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 So figure out who you want to be, figure out what healthy habit you can commit to, and the journey is the point of the weight loss. Or if you want to be healthier, if you want to be happier, if you want to be more confident, more energized, it's about living through the journey. It's not about the destination. And that's a big mindset shift that's hard for a lot of people because it's like, oh, all I want to do is lose 30 pounds. That's all I want to do. It's like, okay, well, you will, and you need to trust that the process is going to work. But if you're not enjoying the journey, then it's not going to work. So think about the middle part because that's what's important to get to the destination. If you're always thinking about the destination, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to be thinking about all these different things that you have to do on top of work, on top of family, and it's just not going to work. So I think taking a step back, slowing down, and thinking about why you want to do this, which is available in my book. Like the whole why exercise is so incredible because it's like, why do you want to lose weight? Oh, I want to feel better. Why do you want to feel better? I want to be better for my kids. Well, why do you want to be better for your kids? Because I want to be a role model. I want to show them what the right things are to do so that they can grow up, live a healthy lifestyle, have an abundant family or abundant life, have a family, and hopefully pass that on to other people as well.
You mentioned your book there, but before we talk more about your book, today, I want to know what's the one lesson you want people to walk away with? Because you often say that everyone should invest in their health at least once.
Mhm.
So, what's the one lesson you want them to walk away with when they do invest in their health?
I think everyone is learning. as they're getting older, right? And I don't think the ability to learn is ever going to stop, right? And that's a big lesson my dad taught me is he loves to like learn and figure out problems, probably because he's a man, but also because he's just genuinely curious about how can I keep improving myself. And I've signed up with a personal trainer before because they might know something that I don't know, right? And so I want to learn from them and I want to learn from other nutritionists like because they might know something that I might not know. Um, yeah,
So
but I
learning and being open. And one
yeah.
of the ways you folks can all learn is from Johnny's book. Johnny has an amazing book which you can find on his website. And yes, I could read it out to you, but if you don't have a pen and paper handy, look in the show notes, look in the comments. You will find the link in there, all the details in there. But Johnny, tell us about your book.
Yeah, so the book is actually something that I started writing in college. At first, it was just a brain dump of a bunch of stuff that I grew up with, that I learned in school between metabolism and energy and macros. And it was just kind of a brain dump of a bunch of different stuff. And then when I moved up here to Colorado and started training with professional athletes, is when I started to structure some of the stuff to where it could make sense. And then roughly 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, this could maybe turn into like a booklet or something that I could give to my clients. But it continued to grow. And the more I connected with clients and learned their struggles, the more I added to the book because I'm learning from my clients and I want to learn what are you struggling with? What hormone imbalances do you have, right? What kind of trauma around exercise and nutrition do you have? That way I can put that into the mindset piece of my book. And so you asked me about what people can take away. I think the biggest thing you can do is just learn more about what you can do to serve your body so that you can serve the purpose that God has given you, right? And so the book is about understanding what body type you have, understanding how to boost your metabolism in a really healthy, natural way. There's recipes in the book. There's a ton of different really amazing mindset strategies and healthy habit strategies that you can start adapting into your lifestyle that is just going to take you further than any other diet plan or extreme program you're ever going to find out there because it's real, repeatable habit. It's like a system, right? And what I like to tell my clients is if you can create a system that you're able to do every single day, then before you know it, a month is going to go by and you've committed to these healthy habits and boom, you've lost 10 pounds. And you weren't even trying or you weren't even like thinking about it. It just happened because you have a repeatable system that you know is just scientifically going to work with the human body, right? Because I got my degree in kinesiology. So a lot of my education that's in the book about fasting, about fat loss, about muscle gain, all that kind of stuff is it's in the book based off of real human science, right? And so, but a lot of the stuff sounds a little complicated, but I put it in a way that's easy to follow, that's understand, you can really understand it, and that way you can learn about your body, learn what works with the human body, learn what works with a bunch of different body types, and then you can kind of build out your healthy lifestyle and it's all there for you and you just gotta read through it and it's I'm getting a little hyped up about it because it's so cool. But there's a lot of different stuff that's in there that's really really helpful, and I give that out to my clients for the ones who invest in my one-to-one coaching.
And I love it. I love how your passion just bursts forth there. And folks, that, every time I've spoken to Johnny, I've seen this. I've seen his passion for other people living their best lives.
Mm,
And just go get that book. Go find. He also, by the way, has another free downloadable on his
mm,
website, which you can take advantage of there. But
mm.
we all get to steward our bodies better than we are now because
Yeah.
very few of us are at peak performance. And I certainly can do with some more discipline and some work on it. But for me to try and beat myself up is not the way to get there. And that is certainly not the approach Johnny takes. But I want to close with this. If God were to sum up your mission in one sentence, what do you believe he would say you are here to do?
Um, just build a healthier, happier world for everybody.
I love
Because,
that.
like you said, it's a trickle effect, right? So if I serve you and you see it work and you share that with your friends and they see it work and they share it with their friends, eventually everyone is living healthier, happier. And I feel like in today's time, things are darker and harder and more emotional and triggering. I don't like using that word, but it is, right? People see things or they experience things that they don't like, and so they deal with it in unhealthy ways.
Mm,
And I feel like exercise and fueling yourself properly and moving and experiencing life is the best outlet for some of the other stressful things that are going on in life. And so
yeah.
I just encourage you, if you are struggling with your relationships, if you're struggling with your career or with your mindset, just get outside, go for a walk and reconnect with nature and God and talk to him, right? And he might not answer you immediately, but just talk to him because he's there and he wants the best for you, right? And maybe watching this video is your sign to say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. I need to do this because I know it's
Mm,
worth it in the end.
yeah. And I think as entrepreneurs, we focus so much on doing what God has called us to do. And we
Mm.
look at building up and having tools in our arsenal like mindset coaching, like the right tech tools, right? All the right things to deliver what God has called us to do. But how about being in the right physical state of fitness and health and aligning that spiritually? Because that's what Johnny helps us do. So if you are, or you know another entrepreneur who gets to watch this, put it on replay, share it with them, because if you are one of those people who know your body, your mind, or your leadership needs attention, this may be the place to start. So,
Mm.
Johnny, tell us, where can they connect with you, learn from your work, or choose to take the next step?
Yeah, oh, I'm on LinkedIn, so you guys can look me up. Just Johnny Els on LinkedIn. My website is trufitacademy.com, and I've got testimonials in there. My book is on there. If you want a free resource, like a free healthy habit tracker, you can find that on my website as well. I'm also on Instagram, TruFit Academy on Instagram as well, where I post exercises and recipes and transformations and things like that. But yeah, just look me up. I'm all over the place. I'm happy to hop on a free call with you just to kind of see what you're struggling with and if this is a good fit or not. Um, but if not, at least we did something that to take that first step.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And don't forget, if you missed it the first time, you don't have pen and paper, look in the show notes. It's all there. And I encourage you to connect with Johnny. He will give you value. If you aren't a right fit with him, you will not come away empty handed. I assure you,
Yeah.
because he is someone who just gives and gives and gives value. So, friends, I hope you caught this today. I hope you caught the fact that health is not a side project.
Mm.
Health is actually stewardship. And when we align our bodies, our minds, and our businesses with God's design, we don't just perform better, we live freer, we lead stronger, and we build longer lasting impact because we can. And with all of that, we have more joy. So if this episode resonated, as I say, share it with somebody else. Let them know that they can steward their body better. So That's all from us here. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and be sure to get in touch. I'll see you in the next episode of the Joy Inspired podcast. In the meantime, go out in joy and be led forth in peace. Blessings all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Joy Inspired podcast at www.joyinspiredpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure to hit that subscribe. I am so grateful for all the reviews and comments, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.